There is a fence around this village. Not wood, not metal, not concrete. Thorn bushes, packed tight, several feet deep. On the other side of that fence, lions walk at night, and inside it, a community of several hundred people wakes up before sunrise, tends their cattle, raises their children, and lives a life that has not fundamentally changed in centuries. This is a Maasai village, and today we are going inside. The Maasai are one of the most recognized indigenous peoples on Earth and one of the least understood. Their red shukas are famous. Their jumping ceremony appears in documentaries and travel photographs. But what actually happens inside a Maasai village, hour by hour, day by day, across a full life, that is something most people have never seen. The Maasai live across the savannas of Kenya and Tanzania in East Africa. There are approximately 2 million Maasai people today. They are semi-nomadic, moving with their cattle across vast territories that have been theirs for centuries. The village, called a manyatta or enkang, is the center of their world. It is where they sleep, eat, raise children, hold ceremonies, and make the decisions that govern everything. And it begins with the fence. The fence that surrounds every Maasai village is called an enkiyama. It is built from acacia thorn branches, layered and packed until the barrier is dense enough to keep lions out and cattle in. This is not symbolic. Lions are real, cattle are wealth. And the fence is the first line of defense that allows a community to sleep at night in the middle of one of the most biodiverse and dangerous ecosystems on Earth. Inside the fence, the village is arranged in a precise pattern. The houses ring the inner perimeter. In the center, the cattle sleep at night, protected on all sides. The arrangement is not aesthetic. Every element serves a purpose. The cattle are at the center because they are the most valuable thing the community possesses. They are surrounded by the houses. The houses are surrounded by the fence, layer upon layer of protection, designed by people who have lived beside predators for longer than most civilizations have existed. The Maasai house, called an inkajijik, is built by women. This is not a division of labor imposed from outside. It is a recognition that the house belongs to the woman who builds it. She chooses the location. She gathers the materials. She constructs it. The house is hers. The materials are mud, grass, cow dung, and ash, mixed in specific proportions, applied in specific layers, allowed to dry. The resulting structure is low, dark, and surprisingly cool in the heat of the savanna day. The roof is flat or slightly curved. The interior has a small central area for cooking and 2 sleeping platforms raised slightly from the ground. A small opening serves as a window. The entrance is low, requiring a slight bow to enter. This is not poverty architecture. This is climate architecture. The low thermal mass of the walls absorbs heat slowly and releases it slowly. The darkness inside keeps the temperature lower than the air outside. The low entrance prevents hot air from flowing freely in. Every feature of the inkajijik performs a function that passive house architects in the 21st century are still working to understand and replicate with modern materials. The Maasai day begins before the sun is fully up. The cattle are released from the center of the village as soon as there is enough light to see. The young men and older boys, the Moran, the warrior class, take the herds out to pasture. This journey can cover many miles. The Moran know every inch of their territory. They know where the grass is good today. They know which water sources are reliable and which have dried. They know the signs that a predator has been in an area, marks on the ground, the behavior of birds, the absence of smaller animals. The women remain in the village. They milk the cattle before the herds leave. Morning milking is critical, and then begin the work of maintaining the household and the community. Firewood is gathered. Food is prepared. Children are watched and taught. The village infrastructure is maintained. The fence is checked for weaknesses. This division of labor is not fixed in every case, but it reflects a deep understanding of the different demands that a pastoral, nomadic life places on different members of a community. The herding requires mobility, endurance, and the ability to read the landscape while covering large distances. The village requires constant presence, constant attention, and a different kind of knowledge of food preparation, of child development, of community management. Both are essential. Neither is more important. Food in the Maasai village is built on the cattle. Milk is the daily staple. Fresh milk, drunk multiple times a day. Fermented milk, allowed to sour in a cleaned gourd, consumed as a thick, probiotic-rich drink that supports gut health and provides sustained energy. The cattle that produce this milk are treated with a respect that borders on reverence, because they are understood to be the source of life. Blood is consumed at significant moments. A small incision in a living cow's neck, blood collected and drunk, sometimes mixed with milk by warriors entering intense physical periods, or by sick community members who need maximum nutrition rapidly. The cow is treated and heals. The practice is precise and controlled, not random. Meat is ceremonial. Cattle are not slaughtered for ordinary meals. They are the community's savings account, their status symbol, their dowry currency, their insurance against drought and disaster. Meat appears at initiations, at weddings, at the arrival of honored guests. And when it does appear, the meal is communal. Everyone eats. The elders eat first. Nothing is wasted. The social structure of the Maasai village is organized by age sets, groups of people born within a similar period who move through life's stages together. Boys of the same age set are initiated together. They become moran together. They become elders together. This creates horizontal bonds of brotherhood across the community that last an entire lifetime. The initiation ceremony that transforms a boy into a moran is one of the most demanding rites of passage in any culture. It involves significant physical challenge, performed without anesthetic, in front of the entire community. The boy must not show pain, must not flinch. His response determines his standing among his peers for years. This is not cruelty. In a world where lions are real, where drought is real, where the consequences of weakness are real, the ability to manage pain and fear without losing composure is not a virtue to be admired from a distance. It is a survival skill that could save lives. The Moran period lasts approximately 10 years. During this time, the warriors are responsible for protecting the community, herding the cattle, and representing the village in relationships with neighboring groups. They are the most physically capable members of the community at the most demanding stage of the community's life. After the Moran period comes the next transition to junior elder, then senior elder. Each transition is marked by ceremony. Each brings new responsibilities and new authority. The elders make the decisions that affect the whole community. Their word carries weight that has been earned through decades of demonstrated responsibility. The traditions of the Maasai village are not separate from survival. They are survival. The jumping ceremony, the adumu, is beautiful to watch. But it is also a competition that builds explosive leg strength in young men whose job it will be to run after cattle, to run from predators, to cover miles of difficult terrain in conditions that would stop a less prepared person. The singing that accompanies the adumu builds lung capacity. The competitive spirit that drives young men to jump higher than their peers builds the psychological resilience that a warrior needs. Even the jewelry is functional. The elaborate beaded jewelry worn by Maasai women communicates information about marital status, about age, about social standing in a visual language readable by every member of the community. Before anyone speaks a word, they know something essential about who they are speaking to. The modern world has arrived at the edges of Maasai territory, and it is pressing inward. Roads now cross land that Maasai communities have grazed for generations. National parks have enclosed territory that was once open. Tourist lodges have appeared on the horizon, and young Maasai people educated in schools that teach the Kenyan and Tanzanian national curriculum, with smartphones in their pockets and connections to the wider world, are navigating a future that their grandparents could not have imagined. Some leave. They go to Nairobi, to Arusha. They take jobs in hospitality, in construction, in the service industries. They send money home. Some never return. Others stay. They manage the tension between what the old world requires and what the new world offers. They negotiate with conservation authorities over grazing rights. They develop community tourism programs that bring visitors inside the manyatta in ways that generate income while maintaining cultural integrity. They use phones to check weather forecasts and cattle prices and call distant relatives. They are not choosing between tradition and modernity. They are doing what the Maasai have always done, reading the landscape, assessing the threats and opportunities, and making decisions that protect what matters most. The thorn fence is still there. The cattle still sleep at the center. The Inkajijic, built by women, still stand in their circle. And at dawn, the Morans still take the herds out across the savannah, reading the land the way their fathers read it, and their fathers before them. The village endures, not because it cannot change, because what it protects is worth protecting.